What matters more in dating, charm or status? I'm going to let you think about that one for a second. If you had to pick one, okay, right? Obviously, ideally, you're extremely charming and you're extremely high status. But from the context purely of just, dating a woman, attracting a woman, which would you pick if you had to pick one or the other? The answer is actually obvious. And the obvious answer is you'd rather be extremely charming than extremely high status. And I'll explain why. Because status is external. Think about it. By definition, if you are high status, in the way that we define it, status being popularity and, whatever, right? Like, how do you define status? Like, we'd have to look that up, ChatGPT it. But it's based off of other people's perception. Therefore, the whole entire concept of status is external. So what does that mean? It means that it's not from within. And so charm is from within. And here's why this matters. It's because you can be extremely high status, right? But at the end of the day, the external dissipates and it fades and it goes away the second she's back at your place, the second she's back on your couch, the second she's in your bedroom, your status in that context is gone. Eventually the red carpet disappears. Eventually the microphone is no longer there. There's nobody externally validating you any further. And so it's actually impossible to attract a woman without charm, because no matter how high status you are, when it comes time to be, with the woman, it's one-on-one. So you'd actually be very charming than you would be high status. And the beauty about charm is that the more that you focus on becoming charming, the more that you actually improve your charm, the more that your status actually begins to follow with it. So, what should a guy focus on? Well, ideally, like I said, you become, high status and you become extremely charming. But if you had to pick somewhere to start off, right, if your deficit is in both and you need to start with one, start with charm. And like I said, it's because you have to build a foundation of attractive identity first, dude. There's a lot of guys that are high status that can't succeed with women. And it's because of the simple fact that status is external, charm is internal. At the end of the day, they're blowing it. They're blowing it on the dates. They're blowing it back at their place. You cannot succeed with women if you don't have an attractive identity that you know how to express, right? And the more attractive your identity internally is, the more simply it is to express. And that's what they mean by be yourself, right? So you do have to be yourself, and that's only true if you have an attractive identity. So, where do I suggest that you start off if you're deficit in both? Start off with your charm and read books. Okay, so there's a lot of really good books out there. One that I specifically recommend if you want to build an attractive identity would probably be the book called The Secret Language of Attraction. Okay, so there's a book called The Secret Language of Attraction, and what you're actually starting to learn here is how to be charming. So if you look it up, I'll drop a link for it below in this video. Start there. Status comes after charm. It's actually pretty hard to become high status if you're not charming in the beginning anyways. So keep that in mind. What's more important, status or charm? There's your answer.